right? It's a 7-part docu-series which we are making for Mumbai Metro Corporation. So you can actually see tunnel breakthroughs, tunnel construction, tunnel boring hota kaise hai. This is all 100 feet below the ground. See, in our city, we'll never get a second opportunity to document this. And this is a major mega project which we are doing. So we decided we'll go ahead and document this. We're shooting this since 2019. So this is a long shoot going on. And we're able to do it because, we have the students, we have the infrastructure, we've got all that. So in experiences, then you have the platform, which we generally call the metaverse. So what we call the metaverse is basically the immersive industry being used as a platform. Metaverse by itself is nothing unless there is something to do inside it. Now, what can you do inside it? You can shop, you can have e-commerce, you can walk into a metaverse and go to a gallery and buy stuff off the shelf like you buy anywhere. You can go to school. There can be education. You can go to work, right? You can actually walk in, sit at a fake desk and do some work. There are people who are doing that. There are companies who are doing that, giving their employees an immersive experience so they don't feel like they're working from home. So there's a lot of things that you do in the metaverse. You can attend concerts, you can attend football games, you can attend whatever you want. But it's a platform where there are various content experiences being created. The next one is where you essentially take the tools that emerged out of the immersive industry to create content. So how many of you know what photogrammetry is? No idea. Okay. So I have a video that explains it in complete detail, so you'll understand what that means, right? Photogrammetry, volumetric capture, virtual production are all tools that have emerged from the immersive industry which are used to create content. So you create content for virtual production content, everybody's seen. Everybody's seen The Mandalorian, everybody's seen Avatar 2, everybody's seen a lot of other kind of entertainment content which is built around virtual production, right? Next. Next. Okay, next. Next. So the immersive platform is unique, and this will give you some sense of how. So this gives you a comparison of cinema, television, digital, and immersive on what is the origin, how strong is the narrative influence, visual influence, audio influence, and immersive impact. And obviously, the immersive industry is very high in the bottom three and decent in narrative impact. So it is unique. It's got separate, very, very different content characteristics from the other three. Right? Next. Next. Sorry. This is a very complicated slide, so I'm leaving it. Okay, so what have we learned? And let's now start to see some content. Right? Next. Next. So these are essentially links to fiction and non-fiction content that we have created, which I mean, if I had my control here, I would have shown you, but I don't want to do this with this thing happening in remote. But there's other stuff for you to show. Next. Okay, live VR sports. Yeah. Now, next slide, play the video, please. Yeah, play this video, bottom left. Yeah. And make sure there's audio.
Who needs to pay like
Yeah.
$2
Just
grand
reduce the audio a little bit.
courtside?
So this is an example of basketball that happens in VR where, no, just reduce the volume. Don't pause it.
Will be the,
Right? So I can talk over, they can hear me.
I cannot switch cameras.
So this is, it does auto switch. So it essentially switches from the middle of the court to behind each post. Right? Continue, let it play. You can't reduce the volume. Just unplug the audio, that's okay. I'll talk over all the video. Audio off kar do, chalega. Just play the video. Play it. Okay, now play it. I don't want to waste time on this. Yeah. So as you can see, this is exactly like you were sitting on half court. You see the players very, very up close. It's a really, really immersive experience. For somebody who likes basketball, I do. This is like great. And everybody is now able to sit here. NBA makes a lot of money of people who subscribe to NBA VR. You switch between behind one court or the other. One net and the other. There's another one that they'll show. It's too much going on. Okay, this is even better. This is English Premier League. So what they've done is they've created the owner's box experience. So you sit there like you're sitting in the owner's box, and you've got the headset on. Now, when you're sitting in a stadium, your eyes don't zoom. So in order to see close-ups, you look at the panel, the display that's inside the owner's box, which is exactly what they've done. And because this is on PlayStation, you can control which side of the football field you want to move to. So there are 3 cameras, one in the middle, one behind each goal. Like this is behind one goal. Now the ball goes that side, they'll switch to the other side. Right? So you'll see him switch to the other side. Now they're behind the other goal. This is very, very, very popular in VR. At the back, you can build out branding, you can sell advertising space. So it's a huge. Next. No, skip this. Next. Next. Again, press next again. Yeah. So there's also medical education. So I showed you that was live sports. But VR is being used significantly in medical education. Play the next one. It's much easier and much more immersive for medical students to do this than to always get access to dissect cadavers, because cadavers milte nahi hai aajkal. Not enough people are dying, age is going up, their life expectancy is going up, so hospitals are not getting bodies of people for students to practice on and rehearse on and train on. It's a good thing in a way, but comes with its problems. So these are great ways to get that education that you want in an extremely immersive manner. So it's very simple. You've got it. Just use the controls. You can do. It's got all the systems of the body: skeletal, muscular, etc., 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 and you're good to go. Within that, there's a class happening. Somebody's giving notes, somebody's giving inputs. This is currently happening. This is live, what's going on right now. So this is not like a futuristic thing. This is very much on the cards. You can switch to next. Next. Press next again. Yeah. So there are quite a few concepts that you see in cinematic VR. So again, I'm not going to just read what I've written. But essentially, it's a kind of content creation where for the first time in the history of the world, filmmakers need to know how to direct attention. Always, so far, filmmakers have had the crutch or the benefit of the concept of the frame. जो frame में नहीं है, जो लोगों को दिखता नहीं है. यहाँ पे frame ही नहीं है. आपको frame बनानी है. You have to get the viewer to look where you want them to look in order to create the frame. How do you do that? You have to direct attention. In order to direct attention, you need to know how to direct attention. It's a whole new skill set. For the first time, filmmakers need to learn that. Directors need to learn that, right? Cinematic grammar basically needs to be completely rewritten for cinematic VR. Next. Again, next. I'm not going to do too much concepts. I'll show you more stuff because theory otherwise बहुत heavy हो जाता है. Back. Oh, yeah, okay. No, actually just go back one slide. This one, let me just talk about a little bit. So, everybody is watching the World Cup? Yes? Is there anybody who's not watching the World Cup? Okay, good. When you see, what are you actually, have you ever tried to think about, everybody here is kind of a filmy person, have you tried to think about what is it that that the content creates, right? What is it that is conveying? So it's conveying two things. The first principles of broadcast are information and experience. So the camera behind the bowler's arm, the main camera, that's the one that's giving you information. Left arm batsman, right arm bowler, egg slip, this, that, etc., etc., etc. Whereas the close-ups that you see, right? Virat Kohli saying whatever, remembering somebody else's sister, is experience. Now, too much of either doesn't make sense. If you have just the main camera all the time, it gets boring. Which is why a lot of old cricket matches feel dated. They feel like, yaar, ye bahut bore ho raha hai. Because they used to have 2 or 3 cameras at most. Sometimes they used to have just one camera behind one end. 1983, India final, there's just one camera at one end. So, the first principles of broadcast are information and experience. How are you going to create that in VR? Because the camera doesn't zoom. So how are you going to create that experience? So you need to go down, you need to understand, you need to think, you need to replan your entire shoot based on this. So there are huge benefits that immersion brings in. There are not huge, but there are some lackings that the platform has, right? Next. Virtual production. Okay, now this is possibly the hottest topic in conversation right now, primarily because you see volume stages, LED walls and volume stages everywhere. And people at this point of time think that सब कुछ virtual production में बनेगा. Right? हमको कभी भी location पे जाने की ज़रूरत नहीं पड़ेगी, सब virtual production में बनेगा. ये completely गलत है. ऐसे कभी नहीं होगा life में. Next. So what you essentially, the core that you need to understand, and those of you who are filmmakers or DOPs or photographers will understand this. You are no longer shooting video. In virtual production, you are essentially capturing data. You are capturing data, and that data has characteristics. It has a place in the volume, it has color, and it has texture. So that pixel has color, texture, and position. So that's basically what you're doing. And once you've captured that data, then you can quote unquote shoot it from whichever angle you want, because you have that piece of data. You can put a virtual camera wherever you want and shoot it. And that's the goal. Right? The virtual production is the flexibility that you get. Next. So there's 3 kinds of virtual production. There's on-set virtual production, which is what television has been doing for many, many years, which is green screen. Standard green screen, but real-time output. There is all CG virtual production. Everybody seen the new Lion King? That is all CG virtual production. So if you see the making of Lion King, and it's available on YouTube, you'll see a room, not very big, With Jon Favreau, he's wearing the headset himself, he's got the controllers himself, and there are 8 other people in the room. That's all that took to make Lion King. They had a huge army of content creators who created all the assets, who created the world, who created all the characters. But when the actual shot taking was happening, there were 9 people in the room. That was all that was needed. Because the whole thing was immersive, Jon Favreau was wearing the headset and all, he had the controllers, he could place the camera whenever he wanted. The animated scene was playing out. The camera was positioned wherever the director and the DOP wanted in order to take the shot from whichever angle of the quote-unquote actors acting, because the actors were animated assets which were operating in a world that was created in 360. Yeah? Sorry, too complicated? Okay, good. On-set virtual production, honestly, I don't need to explain to you. TV has been doing it for a long time. Times now, all of them, when they kind of, you have those anchors wearing, holding umbrellas and trying to act that there's rain. Very, very cringy. That is on-set virtual production. Camera visual effects, which is the LED walls, which is the volume stage. Mandalorian, Blade Runner, etc., hundreds of them, right? A lot of them get used. So these are the 3 types. So when someone says, oh, I'm doing virtual production, ask them which. Virtual production एक नहीं होता, अलग-अलग होते हैं. और आपको पता होना चाहिए आप क्या कर रहे हो. Next. Oh, so these are now the next few minutes is going to be lots of videos, right? Pretty much, I think I'm done with most of the concepts. So how do you approach it? So essentially, you take all the elements of virtual production and disaggregate them and learn each skill set one by one. And once you've learned each skill set one by one, then you kind of move on to putting it all together, right? So next. So this is the wall chart. This is the only wall chart that exists today for virtual production. It's a workflow that helps you understand from creative to building assets to managing data to what you do on set, quote unquote, to finishing, right? This is created by SMT, Society of Motion Pictures and Television Engineers. Next. Next. क्या हुआ? Okay, since he's not moving, this on the bottom you also see the entire list of skill sets. So from creative all the way to engineering. Sorry, go back. The workflow. Okay, chalo, we'll spend some time on this. Go back. One back. एक पीछे जाओ. मागे जा. गुज्जू में क्या बोलते हैं? पाछड़ जाओ. अच्छा हैंग हो गया. चलो ठीक है. Anyway, so I can do it by this, right? So that workflow that you saw, that's the big picture workflow. But when you reduce it down at the shot level, see the smallest unit of content creation is the shot, right? Film, scenes, shot. At the shot level, what virtual production essentially is you have a bunch of things which are called action assets, which are things that move when the shot is happening. Actors, lights, props, etc., etc., etc. And there are things that don't move, but your point of view of looking at them moves, which is the set or the world, right? So action assets and the world are created separately using different processes. Now, action assets can be a live action actor. They still need to learn how to act, but, right? Then you have what is called props, right? So table, kursi, same. Then you've got photogrammetry. Now, that's where really I wanted to show you what photogrammetry is. So then you understand usse kya hota hai photogrammetry se, right? But hopefully this thing starts and we are able to do it. The world is a separate creation, right? The world can be created using a game engine inside Unreal. You can create the world in 3D Max. You can create the world in SketchUp. You can create the world in any software that you like. You can actually go out into the real world, take a bunch of photographs and synthesize it, put it together to create a world which you can use for your film. Yeah. No, I can hear you. I can hear you. Hmm. Hmm. Yes. So if you're shooting VR, the camera needs to be here. No, if you're doing this, if you're shooting me the with this camera setup, you can't do immersive. Me? Okay, what I would do is one of two things. Either here in the middle of the first seat, I would put the camera at a height which is obstructing where I block just one seat behind it. So at about height of 6 feet, 7 feet, right? Not necessarily, yeah, mid shot of me, right? Yeah, that's where I would put it. So if you come down to the campus, I'll show you stuff. We've shot Rahman, we've shot lots, Vishal, we shot quite a few people who come to campus for our master classes. So we put the camera in the first row and it looks absolutely fine. So remember, it does not zoom. And because it does not zoom, the depth of field is not very high. You have maybe a 15 to 20 feet depth of field where you get clarity. Beyond that, it's very blurred, it's very soft, right? So if you want to do VR, take a Insta Pro 2 or if you've got budgets, then a Titan and stick it in the first row or the second row. Yes. Correct. So why don't you come down to campus and we'll do a workshop for you to help you understand, to actually help you produce live streaming in VR better. So most of the crew that shot the IPL in VR were Whistling Woods alumni, people who had done the VR that we've been teaching them for the last 2-3 years. All the people are shooting Metro, shooting Comb. We do a lot of this stuff, right? So explaining to you how to do this is honestly is not difficult at all. So what you would do, what I would do, for example, is I would decide what are my first principles. What do I want to convey? Do I want to give people a close-up of the artist, whoever is on stage, or do I want them to experience the venue? If I want them to experience the venue, I would put one VR camera where you are. I would put one VR camera on the first row and allow people to switch. So in JioCinema's app in IPL, people could switch. That's what I would do. So अब तुमको वो experience चाहिए, तुमको पूरा big picture देखना है, तुम big picture देखो, तुमको front में देखना है, front में देख लो. Now you can take dual camera feeds, put it through the same Studio Mix pipeline. No problem. Very, very comfortably. The problem comes when you need a good CDN. You need a good content distribution network. So generally Akamai, but sorry for people who love China, but Chinese is generally quite unreliable. So you need a good CDN, right? And you need a good CDN, you get a good CDN, you can kill it. The app, the actual live streaming app and the live streaming player, I'll get you. Don't worry about that. We work with a global company that also did IPL, by the way. So don't worry about that. Yeah? Come down. We'll do a session. Sorry. Go back, one step back. So this was a wall chart that was created. Actually, it's been created and continuously updated for the last couple of years, which looks at the entire skill sets of virtual production. So from the creative side all the way till the technical side. One end is creative, one end is technical, and what essentially the role that is being played. And you see the color palette is kind of similar. So the green is very technical, the red is very creative, right? VAD build assets is also creative, but it's equally technical, so it's kind of purple, it's a mix. On-set, far more technical actually than creative, because you've already done all the creative hard work. Now, next. So this is, I mean, again, this is the only time I'm going to praise myself. But you see over here, they're all global media and entertainment tech giants. And right above Zeiss logo, you see one logo there. So I was actually Whistling Woods was actually part of making of the wall chart, right? And I think this is a huge, at least for me, it's a big deal that we've been able to finally contribute to something global when it comes to a standard. And that's also why we've been able to get our kids to learn it, and we've been working on virtual production for 4 years now, almost. Next. So coming back to, next. Yeah, coming back to the shot. Now you've got live action, you have action asset, and you have the world, right? Action asset may you have live action, physical props, CG animation, animated models, motion captured assets. Everybody knows what mocap is. I don't need to explain that to you. When you wear a suit and you kind of dance around and stuff happens. I'll show you a demo, don't worry. You have photogrammetry assets, volumetrically captured assets, and lights. Now, this is one of the few cases where lights are an actor. Lights are to be treated as an actor, as an action asset. Because lights are used heavily in order to create the mood and the environment on the set floor, and you'll see how, right? Next. Okay, so this is motion capture. So this is some of the stuff that we've done with Qualisys. You can go next and then play the video. This one you can play with audio if you want, your call. I mean, I can talk over it or you can play it with audio. Hey, kya ho gaya? Ah, very good. Badhiya. Just play. So these are kids. These are, sorry, Whistling Wood students. Right? Now they're experimenting essentially with a suit. The suit that they're wearing has markers, and there are 6 or 8 sensors around them which are tracking what they're doing and creating this on what you see on the bottom right, which is the rig. And now you get a transformer to do Bhangra. This is being done by, this guy's I think a second year or a third year kid. 18, 19, 20 years old. Trust you me, it's not complicated. You just need to be thorough and you need to be committed. This is very easy to pull off. Next. So that was mocap, that was motion capture. Photogrammetry. Now, okay, this may, yeah. Never. Never. No. It will, AI is always a support tool. It will never be a creator. Right? Right now it's positioning itself as a creator and it is doomed to fail as a creator. It is an outstanding support tool. Complex problem solving, what is called RPA, repetitive performance activities, brute force thinking. AI is great at it because it doesn't get tired. It doesn't need to go to the loo. It doesn't need to sleep. Right? It's great at those things. At original, creative ideas, not good. Yeah. But again, that's Prosumer के लिए ठीक है. You're a YouTuber, you know, you're bored of people seeing your face. You want suddenly to become some other avatar. So you buy a Sony Moco P, which is like really nice, simple mocap set. It is 6 sensors only. 2 on the arms, 2 on the legs, 1 on the head, 1 in the middle. And now, you know, it's good enough for YouTube. Can you use it in a $100 million feature film? No. For that, you need policies, you need something really, really robust. Right? Perception neuron is good, right? Perception neuron also does finger tracking. Qualisys also does finger tracking. See, finger tracking is very important. And this is just mocap. I'm not even talking about perf cap. Perf cap is the face. Because there are as many muscles on the face as there are on the body. The face moves more than the body. And if you want to track that, you need those dots. And you need that sensor right bang in front of your face. I mean, if you see the making of Avatar, you'll see it. You have Zoe Saldana and that boy, what is his name? Sam Worthington. They've got these dots all over the face. Right? So, photogrammetry. Now, iska agar ho sake to volume please chalao. Because nahi to pura bolna padega mujhe. Next, and play. Kya hua? Full karo. Don't worry. If I have to talk over it, I will shout. Yeah, now hit play. So does this look like a video of a normal house? It's not. It's what you call a photogrammetry. So this asset has volume. It is an asset. I can take a virtual camera inside Unreal and walk into the house if I want to. So we've taken about 12,000, 15,000 photos using drone and DSLR and various other things. And it's synthesized into this is volume. It's not a flat view. It's not a video. Video is always flat. इसमें volume है. समझ रहा है? मैं समझा पा रहा हूँ? I hope. Next. नहीं, फिर से. So this is another hut. This is actually done on campus. Students had built a hut for some shoot, so we shot it. This is a photogrammetry capture of a hut. I can do what I want with this now. I can take a VCam and stick it inside that bird's nest if I want to. I can walk in through the door of the house and do whatever I want. This gives me so much flexibility. Yeah. Synthesized it. So you use a software called Reality Capture. It comes free with Unreal. I mean, it's part of the Unreal bundle. As good a DSLR as you can. As good a DSLR. iPhone DSLR. iPhone is really, really good for textures. The iPhone has fabulous capture of textures. Right? So, close-ups ke liye, if you want to do, there's a lot of skin, iPhone is perfect. But if it's large, big, then DSLRs do really good. Because DSLR has very good depth. I mean, I haven't tried the new iPhone 15, but it'll probably be as good because 15 is crazy. It's basically a camera that also makes calls. Right? But that's what our phones have become now. It's a camera that also makes calls. Right? So, anyway. So that was photogrammetry. Now, yeah. So ideally, 7 degrees to 10 degrees in volume as solid angle. So अगर मैंने यहाँ से photo लिया, तो 10 degrees, 10 degrees, 10 degrees, 10 degrees. So I define the center point, right? Which is usually, if it's a large structure, then you take the middle of the house or wherever. And then take all over, inside, outside, everywhere. Right? Now that is outside in. You can also do inside out. Right? So inside out, outside in, inside out, outside in can be also synthesized together by finding common points. So there you have to help the software to understand अंदर से ये point है, बाहर से ये point है. The software does 90% of the work. You only have to do cleanups. It takes a lot of time, right? Not a lot, takes time, right? You need good processing power. Okay, so photogrammetry is for objects that don't move, still objects. But if you want to do the same thing for moving, for like me moving, that's volumetric capture. So it's solid capture of things that move, mostly actors. Next, and play. Yeah, play. So this is actually a 1 second loop. It's just a 1 second loop. Sumedh works at Whistling Woods. And he was walking on a treadmill, and that loop was taken. Then we brought in somebody who's actually Sumedh's father, and got him to walk on a treadmill as well. Now this is a 20-second loop of a walk cycle that I have. He's been walking on the same place on the treadmill for 20 seconds. Now that 20-second walk cycle, I can do whatever I want with it. I can put it on a real world. I can take a drone shot and put the person walking on the floor. I can take that person and put him walking on Mars. I can do whatever I want with it. So that flexibility that it gives you is really what virtual production is all about. Go back and just play that video again. Yeah, just play this again. So this is a 1 second loop that I've just done. So I've cut these videos short so that, because ek hi ghanta tha. Now this is the same thing. Now it's a volumetric video. You think this is video, it's not. It's been taken by a VCam. That moon is fake. The whole thing is inside Unreal. The light is fake. All of this is fake. No. The guy who's walking, I have him in volume. It's a outside in, not inside out. Outside in. Oh, so there are sensors. So here, for this, we used something called Microsoft Azure Kinect. So Microsoft has created these sensors called Azure Kinect, which are used to do volumetric capture. So they have a IR, infrared camera, and they have a video camera. And it's a combination of positioning and placement and texture. For volumetric capture, painful, right? I would say, we're at beta, pre-beta. Lagenge abhi, 3-4 saal lagenge aur to get volumetric capture exactly right. Right? But once you have it, I can basically take Salman in a T-pose. I need, bhai mujhe आधा घंटा de do. Take him in a T-pose and then tell him, abhi premiere pe milte hain. I don't need you to make the film. I can make the entire film without you. How many of you guys have seen? Ye record ho raha hai? Can it stop for? I want to say something which I'm not allowed to say. Because I've signed NDAs, so I get screwed. How many of you seen Vikram Hit List? Kamal Hassan's crazy ass action film? Nothing is recording, right? Oi. Okay, outside. Outside. Chhod do. He is very sensitive. Anyway, so we will talk about that. अच्छा ये थोड़ा लाइट इसको कम हो सकता है क्या? Because नहीं तो ये वॉश हो रहा है. हाँ बस बढ़िया. और इसको प्ले करो. इसके पीछे वाली स्लाइड पे जाओ. पहले वाली स्लाइड. The slide before this. Okay, next. Next. Play and let it play. So this is the 1 second loop. This is raw. This is like while it was being captured. Right? Now this is a volumetric asset. The world is just point cloud, just random shit that we've dumped in Unreal. The sky is like a standard sky that we've taken. Moon is जो existing asset है, उसको dump कर दिया है. Just to see क्या effect आता है. This whole thing took 5 minutes to make. Once I had the volumetric capture. This guy is not there. The light is not there. Everything is fake. There are no trees. There are no plants. There is nothing. There is no fog. Everything has been created in a computer. Play. Continue to play. Don't tell me it's hung again. Oh, thank God. See, now this is a drone shot of Goa. Simple drone shot of Goa. I've got this guy walking. Now here the light looks a little fake because this is in Unity. Unity lighting is still not that great. This is a drone shot, simple drone shot in Goa. And I've placed him there. If I hadn't told you, none of you would have realized that the guy is actually not walking through those trees. Just watch it again, one more time. Once I build a ground plane for the asset, that guy continues to walk on that plane. I can even raise the plane and do all that. They can climb up walls and all that. Everything is fake, yeah. Here to nothing, absolutely nothing is real. Here the trees and all that are real. This is a drone shot. This was actually done 2 years ago. So tech has gotten much better since. So some of the newer stuff that we've done, I hope it's there later on. Next. Next. So we spoke about mocap, we spoke about photogrammetry, we spoke about volumetric capture. Now let's talk about lights as an actor. Now everybody's heard of DMX control. Anybody who's done basic lighting knows what DMX control is. Right? Is where you control lights using an intelligent board. Now DMX control is built into Unreal. So sitting at my computer, I can control physical lights along with the lights that are on the LED wall, so that there is one cohesive lighting package. Nahi? Samjha? Nahi. Demo dekho. Play. So this is evening night scene now. Now you see the lights at the top and the back, essentially it's creating. Now all this guy is doing is changing it from night to day to night. Whole thing is happening inside a computer. None of it is being done using lighting controls. So now within seconds, I moved something from night to evening to day to evening. So jo magic hour bolte hai, which everybody kind of thrives for, you can have magic hour all day. No problem. Actor ko ye lines yaad nahi aa rahi hai, no problem. We have full day magic hour. Right? You can be on the edge of a cliff all day. So these are some of the benefits that virtual production gives you. Everything that I showed you has been done by students. Okay, they've been well trained, but everything has been done by students. So it's not that hard. Trust you me, it's not that hard. Next. Next. Oh, I don't know why it plays second time. So all CG virtual production, I'm just going to give you a couple of examples because this video otherwise is very long. So everything that is brought into game engine, various assets, and rolled out, and then you record. Play. Next and play. Somebody tell me when I have time to go. 10 minutes? Okay. Okay, नहीं, next करो फिर. इसमें time नहीं waste करते. बहुत लंबा video है. So this is again just a simple pull-out drone shot. Same guy, just standing in one place. Lighting is fake. Same, so he's walking. Is basically a standard simple drone shot. I don't have to talk. And the figure you see is a volumetrically captured human asset, which we've overlaid on top of video in Unity. Basically a virtual light simple drone shot. And because the figure you see is a volumetrically captured. I'm not talking and I'm hearing an echo of myself. Okay, hey, next. With the virtual light. Okay, this is too bizarre. Okay, what is this? Where is the other audio coming from? Volumetric and asset. We can direct the walk. Okay, move the next one. On-site virtual production. हाँ नीचे जाओ. Go to on-site virtual production. Go 2 slides down. Next. Yeah, it's a 9-minute video. It's too much. Next. Next. No, next. Press the next button. Right side. Next. 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 Yeah, hit play. So this is simple. This is a green box built inside our campus. This will give you a good sense of on-set virtual production. So green box been replaced by a cafe. This is real time. Nope, nothing big about this. TV has been doing this forever. Right? So this is just an example. Next. Next. Same thing is playing again. Yeah, play this. So this is again same setup, pretty much the same setup, but instead of a cafe, I think they're in Paris. Yeah, they're on a whatever street side cafe in Paris with bad lighting. Next. ICVFX. No, actually, you guys want to see ICVFX or you want to do Q&A? Because they'll throw me out very soon. You have questions or all questions are answered? Okay, just stop. Just do next, because there's quite a few things left which I can drop. So this is a test that we had done for in-camera VFX, which is basically a guy getting into a forest. Actually, next करो, ये वाला एक clip play करो, फिर बंद करते हैं. अभी इसको play करो. Yeah, next. And it'll play again, so just press next immediately. Again, immediately. Next. Hello. So this is the final, that was the BTS, this is the final shot. So this guy is going through clearance, forest. So only the tent and the leaves in the front are real. Everything else is fake. The lighting is fake, everything is fake. Yeah. You should have got a bigger knife. Doesn't seem real, no? Okay, test that. Okay, so next and then you can stop. Ow, I'm tired. And you can stop and turn the lights on. So there's about 5 minutes more, but forget about it. Let's do Q&A for as long as we can before they throw us out. Any questions? Yeah, just shout. Not half an hour. He'll take me a long time to make it. I need him for half an hour.
To us actors, sir.
There are so many more things you can do. जैसे आपने वो, you saw that boy wearing the suit with the markers and acting. So motion capture is a whole new avenue that is opening up, right? So there is an actor in the US. You've almost never seen him on screen, but he's a billionaire. His name is Andy Serkis. He's the motion capture actor for Gollum, for Caesar in Planet of the Apes. Films don't get made if Andy Serkis is not available. He's a master. He's amazing at mocap, right? So it's not like I don't want the real actor, but for example, if I want somebody to jump off a building, which is why I was trying to give the example of Vikram Hitlist, but I can't. If I need an actor to jump off a building and just the actor can't, what do? I need him to jump off a building and it needed to look real. I want that close-up of the face while he's jumping off. Kaise kare? Right? So the goal is not to eliminate actors. It's not possible. वो human emotion वो CG से अभी तक तो नहीं आता है. Right? So don't worry about that.
Thank you, sir.
There's here and then there's a guy at the back.
हाय सर सर आजकल ग्रीन स्क्रीन ने जगह एलईडी वॉल्स ने ले ली है और रिप्लेस हो रही हैं, तो क्या आपको लगता है कि ग्रीन स्क्रीन अभी भी सक्सेस रहेगी वर्चुअल प्रोडक्शन के लिए या ये बंद हो जाएगा फिर?
So आपको डिसाइड करना है आपका शॉट कितना कॉम्प्लिकेटेड है. Actually, one of the slides later on was a decision tree, like a whole decision-making chart that we had made at Whistling Woods for you to decide whether you should shoot in volume or no, whether you should shoot on green screen or you should shoot in a real location or whether you should shoot in front of an LED wall, right? So all three content creation platforms will remain. There will be full live action, there will be on-set virtual production and LED walls. Nothing is going away, nothing is replacing anything. Like if there's a simple shot, if it's a one single shot of this couple sitting next to a cafe in Paris, why do you want to bring in LED walls and increase the cost and all that? Just do it like they've done it. तो हर चीज LED wall पे करना जरूरी नहीं है. In fact, बहुत कम चीजें हैं in number terms which you should do in an LED volume. Only what you can't do anywhere else, right? So I am, Whistling Woods is a huge proponent of virtual production, but सब जगह indiscriminately मत करो. If it's a film about a couple, a rom-com inside an apartment, just book the apartment and shoot it there. Don't recreate the whole apartment and stick it on an LED wall. That's just stupid, right? तो ये एक दूसरे की जगह नहीं लेगा. ये additional workflow है. ठीक है? Yeah, give him her and then him. Sorry, the lights are in my eyes, so I can't see.
हेलो सर, मैं एक थिएटर एक्टर हूँ. तो अभी लास्ट 4 ईयर्स से मैं थिएटर ही कर रही थी. वहाँ पे ब्लैक कैनवास पे हम एक तरह से इमेजिन करते थे, सेट्स होते हैं तो वो हेल्प करते हैं एज एन एक्टर. और जब एज एन इंडस्ट्री में मैं आई तो कुछ डायरेक्टर्स होते हैं जो रियल लोकेशंस पे शूट करते हैं. फॉर एग्जांपल बनारस में हमारा एक शूट हुआ था, तो वो एज एन एक्टर वो आपको वाइब्स देते हैं, वो एक तरह से आपको इमोशंस में बहुत हेल्प करते हैं कि वो रियल लोकेशन में यू आर लुकिंग इनटू इट, बहुत हेल्प करते हैं. एंड व्हेन इट कम्स टू लाइक green LED or this kind of technical things,
it's harder.
As an actor वो आपको emotions में कहीं ना कहीं ऐसा feel नहीं देंगे कि वो fake हो रहा है या फिर कहीं ना कहीं हमारे emotions को कम build up करने में help करेंगे.
इसलिए तो उसको acting बोलते हैं. अगर real life होता था तो फिर real life बोलते थे ना. The whole point is आप कितने fake हो रहे हो. आप real environment में fake हो रहे हो या fake environment में fake हो रहे हो. आप बनारस में भी जाके you're not the character you're playing, right? You're still playing another character. You're still being fake, right? So it's just a matter of degrees of how fake you are, and it's not like you can't act well in virtual production, right? It's about you, about how you're able to build yourself up as an actor. Okay, as an actor, let me tell you where your biggest asset is going forward is in VR. Especially as a theater actor. You know why? Because like theater in VR, you are never off frame. Exactly. You are never off frame because it's always capturing 360. So typical screen actors को आदत है, shot खत्म हो जाए, relax हो जाओ. In VR, you cannot relax. Because even though you may not be the focal point, you are still in frame because the frame is 360. So theater actors actually do really well in VR. So when we do our VR workshops on campus, before that we get the actors to do decent amount of theater training. Because you need to know how to always be in frame, how to always be in character.
So, sir, being an actor, we have to take any workshop or anything for this? So, we can get trained or for this particular.
So we at Whistling Woods, we've not started now doing workshops for the industry at large. Right now we're just teaching all our students. But at some point we will, maybe in the next year or so. So at that time you can come in.
Okay.
We're still, I mean, a lot of the curriculum is still coming together. So some of it is ready, actually most of it is ready. In VR, most of it is ready. Virtual production, most of it is ready. Some of it is coming together. So thoda ek saal lagega, maybe 6 months before we start rolling this out. But as an actor, you need to understand तुम्हारा role क्या है इसमें. Your movie has to start. Sorry. So one question, the guy raised his hand. One. I'm available outside if you want.
हेलो सर, माय नेम इज़ प्रेमल नेवे. सर मेरा क्वेश्चन ये थोड़ा सा अलग है कि शाहरुख खान सर की जो मूवी थी रावण, उसमें भी VFX यूज हुआ था और वो मतलब पुरानी है लेकिन उसमें टॉप क्वालिटी का VFX यूज हुआ था. और उसमें कुछ सीन ऐसे भी हैं जहाँ पे फाइटिंग सीन्स है वो भी वर्चुअल रियलिटी में किए हैं. तो क्या वो अभी
नहीं, एक मिनट अगेन, वो वर्चुअल रियलिटी में नहीं किए हैं. वर्चुअल रियलिटी जब आप 360 वीडियो शूट कर रहे हो, हेडसेट्स पहन के देख रहे हो या मोबाइल पे 360 देख रहे हो, उसको VR बोलते हैं. What they had done in Ravan was good animation. They had done scans of Shah Rukh's face and of his, well, face primarily, and they had got him to do some motion capture, and then they had recreated that in an animated setting. वो VR नहीं है, right? और ये words जो है, ये terms जो है, ये हमको समझना और बात करना बहुत ज़रूरी है ताकि हम गलत एंगल से ना सोचे उसको, right? So Ravan was done about 10 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. 12 years ago, right? So what they did 12 years ago in Ravan was pretty much outstanding.
मतलब क्या वो जो तब गेम उन्होंने डिजाइन किया था वो अभी मतलब रियलिटी में पॉसिबल है कि नहीं, वो अगर किया जाए तो या फिर नहीं?
नहीं, जो पिक्चर के अंदर है वो
हाँ.
नहीं, वो नहीं हो सकता.
Okay,
Oh, that will remain science fiction, and let it remain science fiction. But that kind of content today will be made much better, especially so red chilies. हमको लगता है कि थोड़ा something is off, primarily because they are always ahead of the curve. जो बाकी सब लोग 3-4 साल बाद करते हैं वो रेड चिलीज आज करने की कोशिश करते हैं और वो कमेंडेबल है. अगर आप जीरो भी देखे, थैंक यू, शाहरुख एंड केतन एंड हैरी आर टू get the claps, not me. But agar aap, even if you look at Zero, right? To make the dwarf Shah Rukh, every single shot was shot 5 times. They took 5 passes for every single shot and this composited it in together. It is unbelievable. The quality and the just the serious effort of the work. Now, स्क्रिप्ट क्या थी, पिक्चर कैसी बनी, अच्छी बनी, आपको अच्छी लगी, नहीं अच्छी लगी, वो दूसरी बात है. लेकिन टेक्निकल क्वालिटी में there have been very few films in the history of the country which are as technically well done as Zero. Even today. And Zero was 5 years ago. Or something like that. Right? तो ये एक देखो, एक कॉन्सेप्ट होता है अनकैनी वैली. मतलब हम देखते हैं उसको, हमको लगता है यार कुछ तो प्रॉब्लम है, दया कुछ गड़बड़ है, बट क्या गड़बड़ है हमको समझ में नहीं आती. इट्स कॉल्ड द अनकैनी वैली. और सबसे ज्यादा वो स्किन और फेस से होती है. ठीक है? नाउ शी इज गोइंग टू थ्रो मी आउट, सो बिफोर दैट हैपेंस, थैंक यू वेरी मच, बाय बाय.
थैंक यू सो मच आप सभी का इतना धैर्य बनाए रखने के लिए, इतने अच्छे तरीके से सेशन को अटेंड करने के लिए. मैं आप सभी लोगों से अनुरोध करूंगा, कृपया अगर आप इस साइड से एग्जिट लेंगे, आपको दोबारा से एंट्री लेनी होगी. जो नेक्स्ट फिल्म हो, मतलब हम स्क्रीन करने जा रहे हैं, उस स्क्रीनिंग के लिए आपको दोबारा से एंट्री लेनी होगी, सो दैट बुक माई शो वाले जो हैं वो आपका